So one thing I really have been hating that I've been seeing is articles like this one. I got pulled up here on Barron's. This is titled "Vaccine Stocks Tumble Even Though COVID-19 Cases Are Soaring." So it's this is a January 4th, 2022 article. It's a bit of a dated article, but the thing I have the biggest problem with is the first two words, vaccine stocks, because that's just a huge generalization of these companies that I just don't think is quite accurate. And I think especially when you talk about BioNTech, the company I talked about in my last video, it's just absolutely not the case. So I'm going to go a bit into why vaccine stocks, why I hate that terminology, and I'm going to talk particularly about BioNTech, why that's not applicable in the long term, why you can't just throw that umbrella phrase out there. So this is from the JP Morgan Healthcare Conference. This happened on January 11th of this year, and I just want to go through some notes I found on their presentation I thought were really interesting. So yeah, BioNTech, their revenues, their profits right now are almost entirely from the vaccine. I can actually pull up right here, right now, from Ticker Terminal. This is an amazing website for looking at valuations and financials. I recommend this to anyone. Even just the free product, it goes a long way. But you can see here in the last 12 months, they're 13.8 million profits in revenues. When you compare that from the last 12 months in 2020, I mean, they only made $500,000 in revenue. Early stage biotech company. So their revenues went up about 28.6 times, something like that. And that's crazy to think about. So they're making a lot of money, which is amazing for the company. But if you think that they don't have plans to put that money into other things, you are crazy. You are crazy. This is a biotech company. Biotech is something that medicine is going to rely on for solutions for many different things. It's not just something that coronavirus pops up, we need biotech to solve it, and it's solved, and that's what biotech does. So no, they made 28.6 times their revenue that they made in 2020, and they're absolutely going to invest that into other things. So yes, they did ship 2.6 billion doses. Yes, they are. In large part, their business is currently driven by vaccine. BNT 162B2. Now, this is the product that they, I talked about this in my last video. This is the product that they came up with. They needed to partner with Pfizer in order to distribute it. But in large part, a lot of the discovery of this product did come from biotech. Now, let's keep going on this presentation here. Another thing I noticed that I wanted to point out to everyone was the pipeline expansion. So they have 4 phase 2 trials right now. If you know anything about trials and how it goes in phases with regulatory bodies such as FDA, once you're into phase 3, they're not getting you into phase 3 unless your thing looks legit and it looks like, yo, this is gonna get out. So the fact that they have all these products in the phase 4 is phase 2 is very promising. So this is really interesting as well. This is a very, very multi-platform company. They're very integrated with technology. They have many different programs. It's not just the one approved vaccine. 16 plus clinical stage product candidates and 30 plus programs. This company is working on solving a variety of issues. More on that in a moment. So here, look. Take a look at all of this. They have products in immune oncology working on a fixed vac. So this is, I guess I should talk about the fixed vac. This is a mRNA technology that they're working on. So here, under their mRNA vaccines, off-the-shelf cancer vaccines. So fixed vac is their experiment. So mRNA was not initially for the coronavirus. Coronavirus was not on BioNTech's radar until around December of 2019 maybe. And they dropped everything to work on coronavirus, but originally they were using their mRNA for hey, can we use this to solve things like cancer? And so they developed FixVac to do that. And so that's an ongoing technology they've been working with. And you can see there's a variety of other things. Cell and gene therapies, that's a part of the company. Targeted antibodies. They have ribologicals, work on antibodies and cytokines, immunomodulators. So very, very diverse pool with what they're trying to do in biotechnology. Um, and now back to what I was trying to talk about. Yeah, so this is how they're kind of basically apply it. So FixVac, that some of that mRNA technology, they're using that to work with melanoma and trying to solve issues with melanoma, HPV. Um, Also, over here, you got influenza, shingles, malaria, tuberculosis. Now, tuberculosis and malaria, those are very serious ones. I'm talking like millions die a year from things like that. Uh, you know, you can, as far as like impact, it's up there with like cancer, CV-19, that type of stuff. Very serious. Actually, right here, I pulled up a total of 1.5 million people died from TB in 2020. Tuberculosis is very difficult because recent tuberculosis has become very, very drug resistant. And it can be very, very drug resistant. And so that's why a lot of people can die from it. There can be latent tuberculosis and drug resistant tuberculosis. There's a lot of interesting things to read about with tuberculosis. I would recommend, if you're interested about germs in general, Michael Osterholm's book. Michael Osterholm's book is called Deadliest Enemy from 2016. Now, yeah, so it's just, this is a this is a multi-pronged company trying to solve multiple problems. Some of the world's biggest problems: malaria, tuberculosis. You know, it's not just like a CV-19 vaccine stuff. So that's why I hate stuff when I see stuff like this Barron's article here. So yeah, it's just something to consider with BioNTech. You're buying into ownership of what I believe is one of the greatest oncology teams in the industry right now, with like Ugir Sahin and Aslam Taruchi, taking at the helm. Over here, you see that BioNTech is a pretty significant position in BlackRock's iShares Genomics Immunology and Healthcare Fund. So it's a very much legitimate company. I genuinely believe that it's a $33 billion company right now. I genuinely believe that 5-10 years time, this will be the biggest biotechnology company in Europe, unquestionably. And that's how I believe that the thesis is going to play out. So, two last things I want to show you. One being the Morningstar. So, when stocks are going down, that's really when I like to buy personally. And in my last video, I said 180 was when I was watching for BioNTech to break. That was my fair value estimation. I did start buying around 180, 170, and I started kind of buying a lot more heavily around 150. But actually here is where I started to really add, right at this line right here. This has broken well below 50-day, 20-day moving averages. The company has only been around since October 2019, so it can't really set up like a 200-day moving average, but I'm sure if it had one, it'd probably be below or at the 200-day moving average right now. So, just incredible market reactions to not only like the CV-19 numbers that are coming down, but all the other geopolitical events the market always reacts to. You always have to like see through the fog and the shadow of doubt and just make decisions about the future. So over here on Morningstar, I want to talk about, when I showed this page in my last video, their BioNTech FVE was 180. Now they have a whole paragraph here of really good research from this analyst here, Karen Anderson. She talked about how they wanted to raise their fair value estimation to $200 because she was saying, look, I was doing the research on the COVID-19 contracts that are going out all the way through past like 2023. I don't think 2024 is not until 2024 is when like sales on the vaccine becomes a little more uncertain for BioNTech. So like they have another year plus of like guaranteed vaccine sales via contracts. She was looking at the shingles vaccine and the shingles collaboration they're doing with Shingrix here. So she was looking at all this and she was like, No, we think that the company's actually worth more than what we originally thought. So when this stock price is going down, and you actually look at the company fundamentals, it's like, wait, this company is getting better, if anything. And I entirely, for a company that just upped its revenues 28 times, like we just pointed out here, I really don't think it's justifiable. So let's say the company was worth, okay, they started working on coronavirus in like December. So let's say like $20. They're let's go to like, let's say it's like a $25 stock more or less, beginning of December. This is like December 6th, 2019. Almost none of you watching the video know like anything about COVID. Um, so that's what it is. That would put it at about like 1/5 the valuation it has now. So like 1/5 of 33 billion. What would that be like? It's like what, a $7 billion company? I don't know. But what I'm saying is like, this is a five. So this is a 459% up. So this is a 5.5x. So what I'm saying is I don't think 5.5x on the stock is enough to justify the pipelines that they have coming. We talked about the pipelines with Shingrix. We talked about the stage 2, the different products they have going through phase 2. They have FixVac and all that. So I think with the future and with the contracts going through 2023, I don't think that a 5.5 upside from before, when we didn't know anything about COVID and all the amazing things that this company did, I don't think a 5.5 upside is enough to justify when their revenues went up 28.6x. So yeah, that's why I don't. That's my spiel today. Thank you so much for watching. I would say in general, anywhere under 150 when I have cash, I'm trying to add to the stock right now. But I'm watching for it to break below this 130 support, and I think that's when I want to kind of go crazy. Because if this sells off to around the $100 mark, I don't know what else to say other than that's market irrationality. I mean, you're looking at a stock, it's under a 4 price to earnings. The forward PE is well below the current PE because of the COVID contracts, all the other things in phase 2. Like, it's market irrationality. I genuinely believe this will be one of the biggest biotech medicine companies in Europe in a few years. Only time will tell. I'm Zoomer Value Investor signing off. Thank you so much for watching. Please have a good day.